Welcome to Discover Marketing Group, your agency for e-commerce growth. Today, what we're going to do is just dive into our strategy and show you how we help brands grow in 2023. So there's 5 things that we look after. That's your brand unity, your optimized website, jab, right hook, which is a shout out to Gary Vee, creating an unbeatable offer, which is another shout out to Alex Ramonzi, and then specific targeting where we come into play and we really help brands put some fuel on the fire for their business. So we'll start with brand unity. Brand unity, it doesn't have to be boring, something that's not out there or vibrant. It just has to work well together, right? Your Instagram, your Facebook, Google homepage, even your website, they all kind of have to be in line with some thought. So ensure that the branding goes well across everything. Let's say your Instagram and your Facebook or your website, just make sure the person doing them, or at least the team doing them, is all consistent with the colors, themes, kind of like the first impression that you have. Imagine going to the job interview and, someone's wearing a suit. It can be red, like this woman here. Still makes sense for the business attire. But then imagine someone, wearing a hat, old sneakers, and a dress. It's a weird combination. It doesn't really work. So you kind of want to just make sure that everything's put together well. And if it is sort of a style that's a little bit out there, keep it consistent. Keep it easy to look at and visually appealing. Your website or your media is a reflection of the exact quality of work that you offer. So if it's kind of everywhere, if it's not really taken care of, whether you're a roofer or a car wash service, whatever it may be, if things aren't consistent with how they're presented, that's how we feel like the job may be done. So if you're a plumber, maybe you did well on the last job, but my job you're not going to take care of because your website doesn't reflect that. You want it to be friendly and easy to navigate, and that's probably the best way to have brand unity. One, it needs to be fast. There's this old story my grandma told me about the tortoise and the hare, and the tortoise would always win. Real life's a little bit different. People are impatient. So if your website's taking too long to load, we'll probably just jump back on Google and go to the next search, and therefore any sort of advertising you may have done on Google was completely wasted because the website wasn't ready. User experience. You want it to be easy to navigate, and keep these points in mind because this really involves bonus content that we're going to show you guys. But user experience is kind of how easy it is to find things. I don't want to be lost. I don't want it to feel like an airport where there's 40 different flights coming in. I don't know where to go. Your website needs to be like a tour guide, which kind of treats you into the direction of your CTA or your call to action. What do you want me to do once I'm on your website? A lot of people don't really understand advertising online because they don't know what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to be like a nice, clean roadmap for me as the visitor or the person that you're trying to kind of entice to buy your product to have a smooth path to purchasing. Treat it like an IKEA, you have one path that you got to follow, and then at the end of the day, you find the items that you want and you're at checkout because ultimately you want me to be inspired by a product, go find it, and then purchase it. So it's the same thing here where we want someone to take action, become an ambassador, give them a call, learn more. It can even be buy now, for example, if you're selling, let's say, a watch or a gaming controller or whatever it may be. If you're a contractor or someone that has to do custom quotes and you want people to kind of give you a ring and set up a time to speak where you can go give them a quote on the work that they need done, then that needs to be transparent within your website or your landing page. A nice clean roadmap to what you want the visitor on your website to actually do. Now we'll get to Gary Vee. Some people may know him. He's one of the smartest people when it comes to this digital media game. It's shown in the businesses he's built. There's a couple things that he does really well, especially when it comes to a landing page. So his big thing is a jab, right hook, which means you give and you give and you give. And then once you think you've given enough, that's when you can finally ask for something. When it comes to your landing page or your business, pretty much what you want to do is influence these 3 T's before anyone purchases. They got to trust the company. They got to trust the solution that you provide for their problem. So whether that be, a set of headphones or a dentistry office or a clinic or a chiropractor. If you're a chiropractor, please give us a shout out. We definitely need one on the team. They have to trust that you have the right solution for them. And the only way you can do that is kind of by giving them all the information in clean, transparent ways where they trust you. And then ultimately they need to trust the person that's actually selling it. Depending on who you are, how your business operates, this might be a call to action from your website. So they come to your website, they learn a little bit about your business, they understand how you solve people's problems. Then you might say, hey, book a call with one of our agents to learn more if you're an insurance agency or whatever it may be. Now, at this point, this is out of our hands and onto your training team there to make sure that your sales rep, whoever gets a call, they're able to sell themselves as well as part of the solution. And this is the way where you can kind of build warm leads for your company and really grow fast. You got to use your website to build trust for the first 2. The company and the solution. If you have custom quotes, have your call to action be setting up a free call. This way your team can do a discovery call. So that's the jab, right hook. The next thing is the unbeatable offer. Alex Ramonzi, he's the owner of acquisition.com. I think they're worth over $100 million now. He has a lot of great books. One of the books is called $100 Million Offer, but he has a quote there that says, make people an offer so good they would feel stupid saying no. This doesn't mean you want to sell something for free. It just means the offer that's on your advertising gets people to the next step. So it's a way for them to get started, right? Going back to that jab, right hook. Cool, you gave them all this information, but if your next ask, let's say you say, say the information is some case studies, some before and after pics, all this great information, but then you're asking for $100,000. It probably won't turn into anything. But if you ask them to book a call, that can at least get them in front of someone that knows how to sell or show more value. Your ultimate offer is always something that's easy to kind of convert someone into a lead. You're not trying to make a sale right off the website. So that's a great way to start it. This can even be like booking a free consultation call. Whether you're a contractor, it can just be come, give me a quote at this time. And that way you can go there in person, meet them, kind of put a face behind the business. And that way you're able to kind of put yourself in front of the person that you're trying to sell to. Both of these combined, kind of touched on it already, but this is the bonus content, a landing page. A landing page is kind of like a one pager that has all the info for your customers might be looking for before they buy. And the reason that this is super important when it comes for advertising is, let's say I click on a Google ad or an Instagram ad. One, we can add tracking to these pages so we can see at what point does their mouse decide to leave the page. And before they leave the page, they might get a little pop-up that says, hey, if you subscribe right now for my newsletter, you can have XYZ. So we can put a bunch of things on the website that'll actually help avoid abandoning people. You already paid for that click. You might as well keep them in your CRM, get their email, get their number. And that way, maybe you can follow up with them later and say, hey, just want to check in. We're doing some stuff in your neighborhood. Want to know XYZ. So a great way to kind of keep leads that are coming to your website that you paid for in your CRM. What we'll do is we'll break down a really good landing page. And also we can help build this out for you, but I just rather you guys understand how it works and then learn ways to do it, because one of the key factors, probably the second biggest factor, what helps businesses grow and why some businesses will never grow. You want a cool headline. This can be whatever your business stands for, your agency for e-commerce growth, and then a little blurb about it. It could be the best roofing company out there, free fillings, or however dentists work. If adjustment is free on us, for chiropractic, whatever it may be. So as long as you have some cool catching titles, keywords up here, that's exactly what you're looking for. You can also have a call to action. So right here, we have something that says get in touch. So if people, they heard about you before, or they clicked an ad, or they just want to talk to you, make it something nice and easy to see right at the top. So this is your CTA, get in touch, and then they can book a call with us. From there, you want to describe the client's problem, the reason that they're here. Our goal is to assist e-commerce brands in achieving scalability by integrating data-driven strategies, creative solutions resulting in a comprehensive funnel and marketing approach. Another call to action. Then we have some social proof, solutions and services. Now, it doesn't have to be done exactly in this format. This is just like a good basic one to follow. We have our portfolio right here, some of the brands that we work with, some of the stuff that we've done for people, more testimonials, and then about us section. We kind of just broke down our strategy. We just try to be really transparent with everything that we do. And then we have some more social proof of some of the brands that we work with. As you can see, with every section, we always try to keep an about us page. We're always pushing for something. If you get to the very bottom, we're assuming that you want to talk, and then you'll fill in the information here, and then we can kind of have you on our calendar. But make sure your call to actions are clear. Make sure everything's sectioned properly. A good website to help you out with this, if you don't have one already, you just want to go to clickfunnels.com. Clickfunnels.com, just really simple. It's drag and drop. It's a great way to get started for your landing page. We can definitely help you guys build this out too. However, if you just want to try it yourself, I always say before you pay someone to do it, learn how hard it is to do it yourself, and then you'll value the work that they did for you. Let us know if you need any help there. The most important part, or the part that really helps you grow your brand, specific targeting. So this is where a lot of people fail when they go, I tried ads, it didn't work in the past. All of this isn't set up correctly. Your ads are going to fail every single time. This is the foundation of everything. Imagine you're trying to build a house, but you never did any foundation. It's going to collapse eventually, and then you're going to say building houses doesn't work. Your foundation, if it's not rock solid, there's no point in running ads, because you're just going to burn money, and you'll be one of those people that say ads don't work online. Once that's all set, it's going to help drastically increase your demand for your product. And that's what advertising is supposed to do. It's supposed to basically put something that's already working well in a small circle in front of a bigger circle, so more people can use it, and therefore it grows fast. Build an ICP. So this actually stands for ideal customer profile. What you want to do is, if you have a book of business, or some customers, they're reoccurring buyers. So whether you be a dentist or whatever it is, a landscaper, any service-based business really. If you have people that buy from you often, understand who they are. What time are they on social media? What do they do? What is their lifestyle? The more information you can collect, the more you can kind of build someone that's similar to them. And that way you can directly target that person to increase your brand. So then you'll actually have like a core fan following, right? Almost treat it like you're a rock band. Most of your fans are going to have something in common, whether it be a backstory, a certain area that they grew up in, a certain way that they dress. Once you put all that together, you can sell more to those people, and therefore your contents get bigger and bigger. Now I'm going to share a secret formula with you guys. This is how we run ads. Typically, it can go from small brands, people that are spending only $2,000 to $5,000 a month, all the way to people that are spending $100,000 a month running ads. This is our strategy, and the team's going to hate me for it, but this is how we kind of set up your ads. It's done in 4 phases. Phase 1 is the learn and grow space. So you need to be spending around 2 to 10K. That's probably the best place to start. Closing the gap. What we're going to do If you're already spending over 2K, we're assuming you're running ads. We want to audit the existing campaigns and the structure or the foundation of the ads. From there, we're launching new tactics, new strategies, kind of coming up with our own ideas and pushing them towards your audience, creating a list to remarket towards. Let's say you're spending Instagram ads. Then you also want to have congruent Google ads, because people might see you on Facebook or Instagram, and then maybe 2 to 3 days later, they're interested again. You have to put an ad almost 16 times in front of someone for them to have a good touch point. So we want to put it in a position where it's at a convenient time, but it's also a time where they may be looking to purchase something like that. Creating and planning to run experiments. So what we do is we kind of base all the data that we do in the first 30 days to then develop our plan for the next 60 to 90 days, day 60 to day 90. And that would be your second sprint there. And then we'll build out reporting. So we're extremely transparent with what's going on in your account. We want to show you exactly how much is being spent on each different click if you want, and how much of that audience is being retargeted, how much of it is new, how many people engaged, how many people did it. This one gives you some homework, because we can say, hey, we sent 400 people this week to your website, but none of them converted. That can be one of two things. Either you're getting the wrong type of people, so we have the wrong ICP, or they're coming to your website, they don't like your landing page, and they're running away. We have homework to do. And that way we kind of just continuously build and improve what's going on the website. Okay, so trimming fat and then expanding. So this is going for your second sprint. So this is from day 31 to day 90. So we're auctioning experiments that were successful and diverting budgets, which means, simple way to put it is, let's say we're in the NBA, NFL, whatever swimming competition, for example, and we were doing a bunch of tryouts, right? All of these new campaigns, they were all trying out for the team. The ones that were successful, we're going to say, hey, you know what? We want you on the team. We're going to put you in a training camp so you get better. Everybody else, unfortunately, it didn't work, and it's time to go home. So that's kind of what this first section is we're doubling down on what worked and then cutting the things that we don't like. Same as working out. You can't put muscle and trim fat at the same time. Trust me, I've tried. As we put on a lot of muscle, we gained a lot of fat. Now we're getting rid of the fat, trying to keep the muscle. We want to create a cadence for creatives, to optimize the images that we currently have, any sort of advertising we're putting out. So let's say we had 15 different images that we ran Instagram ads on. Which ones made sense? Which ones fit the brand the best? And which ones actually started turning into sales? That way we create more that look exactly like the first one, but have sort of a variation. And then we spread that across Facebook, because Facebook might act differently than how Instagram users act. So we want to target specifically on each different platform which ad created the best sales for you, and then kind of tweak and optimize those to create more similar campaigns. Once again, doubling down on what works, tweak what is weak, and removing what is wasteful. Whatever we liked, we're going to try to grow a little bit stronger, and the things that didn't work, we're just going to get rid of them. And that'll be your first 90 days with us. Channel expansion. So this is probably the most fun one. From this second sprint, let's say Google is the best performing one for you. What other search engines are there? Because if Facebook isn't doing as well as Google, that means there may be some other search engines. They may be a little bit smaller, but that means the ad budgets are cheaper, and the guys looking on there are going to convert faster because not enough people run ads on Bing, Yahoo, whatever it may be. If Meta is successful, cool. We're going to tell you to start doing TikToks. As much as you hate it, if Facebook, Instagram is working, that means your brand is built more on visual representation than it is on Google or research. Therefore, start creating more content. Let us push it for you. Reddit, Snapchat, and Spotify. These are really rare. Some brands use them more for audio or cult followings. One, you have 10 to 25K. You want to spend it in the most successful places. And then follow-up experiments. Things that worked here, we continue to double down. This sprint right here, so sprint 3, this is going on anything after 90 days to 120 days. Here is when things kind of get a little bit more fun. Minimum, you're looking for 7 to 10K. Ideally, in this range, you want to be doing 10 to 25K. This is audience behavior and website revamp. So we've had enough data, enough people come to the website to know what works and what doesn't. Our team's going to jump in. We're going to redesign the website for you in a way that works. This is going to keep congruent with all the creatives that we've been putting out, finding out which ones work the best, which touches your audience the best, and which one they click on the most, and then optimize your website. And this is where we can redo the funnel or the landing page as well. Every aspect of the website will try to convince your prospect to leave info for us to get new signups or sales, so that they can get exclusive discounts, so we can set up an email list, etc., etc. This way, you're not wasting any lead that you pay for to your page. Phase 3. Not a lot of people are going to fall into this, but this is where you can kind of build an app to speed up bookings, payments, and confirmations. So let's say you're a contract. You build basements, swimming pools, whatever it may be. People can just download the app. They can book what they want. They can even put them down in deposit so you know they're sure, and then you can go and kind of do what needs to be done. Now, obviously, at this point, you would need packages, so this gets a little bit more complicated. Not a lot of businesses fall into this section. Most people would just continue to kind of revamp these two and just grow the book of business. Once things are kind of moving really well here, obviously, you're spending $25,000 to $100,000 a month. This is probably a 3-year plan. You then get into franchising, the big F word. This is where you have multiple locations. You're a chiropractor, you have a brand, you're running ads to different stores. You're just sitting at home looking, making sure that every business or every franchise is growing profitably. This needs to be perfectly systemized, and that's why this takes the longest to do and why there's so few franchises. But once you have the system perfect, you can truly grow really quickly. However, it is a long-term plan, and that's how we kind of help businesses go from spending $2,000 a month to becoming a franchise that's spending over $100,000 a month. This has been a long one. I appreciate your time. If you guys have any questions, feel free to click the ad and